We have a new video to react to. It's not from Kramnik's channel. It's called Danya pulls an Uno reverse on Kramnik's cheating allegations. I have not seen this. This is my first time.
I'm looking at the engine, and actually it's not...
Ah, you're looking at the engine, Danya, but you're playing.
Verbally describe something that by definition is verbally undescribable, which is f***ed up. I don't have a bot or anything of the sort, I'm just playing.
It's by all definition cheating, and you say you never cheated.
Every time I cut off one head, 3 more heads appear in their place. If you win tournaments that are strong enough, you would have been 2,700 a long time ago. Stop saying that you didn't say something when it's caught on tape. What? Wait, let's get that in slow motion. The nature of these accusations, non-accusations, is that they take, as I said at the start of the stream, and evolve. The form of them evolves every time. So every time I address one thing, it's like, I never said this. This was never the issue. There's this other issue and these other questions, and then I address those. It's like a game of whack-a-mole, and the problem never actually disappears. It, like, every time I cut off one head, 3 more heads appear in their place. But
Yeah, the question I have is how does Danya, because he still respects Kramnik, how does he prove his innocence or absolve himself? And is Kramnik really just investigating, or does he have pretty strong conviction here that's not easily removed?
I will try to cut off all of the heads at once. When I did the Bishop C8 explanation, the fact that I had to do it is already a sign of the times. Truly, it breaks my heart. Vlad responded on Twitter saying several of the top GMs, presumably the same mysterious top GMs, which include Nepo and a top GM by the name of Top GM. I think I saw him playing in the Gashima Memorial. Dropped below 2,700 recently. And we lulled at it. Like, we listened to Daniel's explanation and lulled at it. And in a YouTube comment, he said that for amateurs, it's believable, but anybody, like, as a GM knows the truth. Okay, so first I'm going to show you that that's demonstrably false in a second. But that is absurd for so many different reasons. Just one is that what you are essentially asking me to do in the first place is to verbally describe something that by definition is verbally undescribable, which is your intuition, which is f***ed up. I'm going to do what Vlad does. I'm sorry to be a little bit blunt here, but there's just no other way to say it. This move has a concrete idea. Like, there's something in the position that led my brain into the general region of this move, and I described it. It was the fact that he hemmed in his own bishop. But there are components of this.
See, I'm in trouble too, right? I've defended Bishop C8. I had a thought, and I probably would play it. But a fun movie, if you guys get a little bored late at night, it's an old movie, 20 plus years now, is Equilibrium. If we want to start targeting thoughts. I really think in this day and age, it's 2024, the amount of moves that are playable, the logic, there's more resources, more ideas. There's more speed chess, which is just really quick thinking. I mean, what? You can't have a, like, come on, like, it's not just a one move or you're like guilty. Like, that's too much. And I'm the most guilty. I said I would actually probably play it. If you put me in that game, I would play Bishop C8. Danya didn't. And I'm not saying that to provoke a reaction. I love tucking in my bishops. I talk about it all the time in my speedruns or videos. If you did an analysis of my games, I guarantee you that would be a move probability in that moment, a very high percentage.
This move that are general. This is what it means to understand a structure. There are moves that aren't, you know, attached to like a super concrete idea, but rather in static positions, it's just a move that you consider. It doesn't harm your position, and it improves certain aspects of it. Eric Hansen has called this absurd. Mon Hamilton has called this absurd. And another GM that I want to shout out is Archer Snake Sons.
Wow.
First of all, just a class act. Bishop to C8. Okay, second move of the engine.
It looks like we're a group of like second-class GMs, though. Kramnik's got his buddies, and it just makes us look like patsers, but there's nothing wrong with being patsers. We have bad thoughts. I have bad thoughts. I play bad moves. That's not going to change. We're the B team or the C team there. That's definitely not a winning squad for sure. But as they say, but okay. We still like to play chess. The undesirables.
Opening up the rook, but not really, right? Because rook g5 isn't really a threat. That seems too obscure. I mean,
but I think it's going too far.
These are all just snake sons. Bishop c8.
You know, there's a moment in the Hans Niemann situation where, myself included, people were analyzing, scrutinizing the post-mortem and why you played moves in a classical game, because a lot of it didn't make a lot of sense at the time, and maybe there's other factors that contribute to that. But we're talking about blitz and talking about muttering ideas while you're streaming. And it's not even a far-fetched move anyways, but like it's totally, when you're a seasoned streamer, you're just shouting things out that your intuition, whatever comes to mind, and it's a totally reasonable move to just shout out. It's not like you're expected to give an essay or break it down. That's just against what blitz is. Like are we gonna do bullet chess too? What? And one thing about Danya is he's consistent. He plays consistently, produces consistently, his style, his results throughout the speed chess time controls. So that's always nice to see as well, that there's a consistency in how he plays positions, approaches them, and whatnot.
Very similar position. So Artur's clearly cheats. Oh, top move, bishop c8. Artur's, why are you incriminating yourself? I don't know what could be said about this, but I urge Vlad to take this back.
I don't think Danya owes making this long video, actually. I didn't see it, but I don't think he had time in the game to think all this out and really going deep in your lore to figure out why you maybe played a move. I mean, yeah, that's...
First and foremost, because of everything that is absurd, and there's a lot of absurd here,
this
might be
not necessary.
The cherry on top. Explain your intuition. Okay, I explain it. Why did you just explain your intuition? Like, how can you explain your intuition if it was your intuition? It's a situation where no matter what you say, it will then be used to manufacture like the next unexpected turn. Are you a witch? No, I'm not a witch. I don't know. I don't know what a witch is. Oh, how do you know that you're not a witch then if you don't know a definition of a witch, right? It's very, very telling. Remember the bishop c8 moment? No, because I didn't play it, right? So this is where I point out bishop c8. Now the video is paused. Up, he looked up. Oh, there again.
Okay, so gray, go here. Trying to squeeze this out.
Up, looked up again. Up, there he goes again. So here's the interesting thing, folks. It's minus plus here after bishop c7, but bishop c3 is a mistake, and king f6 is a mistake, and it goes from -2 to equal, right? The next two moves after the biggest smoking gun that undoubtedly is supposed to prove that I have a wall engine. Fascinating. It's a big monitor. I don't know what the size is. It's like a 27 or 28 inch. I'm gonna have like a gaming setup, two big monitors with a camera between them. I'm sitting with my eye level. It depends. If I sit in my old chair, which I'm sitting in now, and I like lean back, I'm seeing like the fourth ring.
Just to clarify, I haven't seen Danya's streams or videos. I'm not, because I'm not worried about Danya. Like, so this is new to me, but that's all normal.
Literally to see like the tabs, I have to do this. I'm looking up to see the tabs. I'm looking at my monitor. As far as the saccades to the side, allegedly at the wall, I mentioned the word slanderous lies. I don't use this term lightly. Vlad got mad about that. Where are these lies? Be specific. This is line number 1. Line number 2, apart from the fact the first sentence of the video was untrue, is the fact that I could not possibly be looking at the computer. Here is the setup, and let me prove that to you right now. If you watch my eyes, at any point in the video, I'm constantly darting. I try to reproduce the setup.
Huge commentary from Hansen. I'm listening.
I open chat on it just to simulate a stream, and you can see, when I look to the left, I'm not looking at a wall. Do you want me to slow it down? And if there's anyone who claims that the eye movements differ, please tell me exactly how, and provide eye tracking data, because I don't believe that they do, and I compared. Just, there it is again. There was a look to the left, perhaps at an 18 plus movie. There it is again. Here it is. It clearly shows that I don't have a bot or anything of the sort. I'm just playing. And this is actually what the setup looks like when I play. I have chat open. As you can see, I do look everywhere with my eyes because I'm looking around my computer screen at the game. Here's Vlad himself doing what every chess player does. Okay, but you can see the eyes are off to the side. I mean, the monitor's straight up, right? This monitor's straight.
Monitor is obviously here. It's obviously there. And what can be here on the right? I don't understand.
Like what? Wait, let's get that in slow motion.
Oh, is this a counterattack from Danya?
What is happening?
Oh, he's saying moves as he's looking off to the
this?
side. Okay, I'm not going to be obnoxious and just like fixate on obvious points. What can I anticipate the response to that being? I think the response is, well, these are very particular glances at one location, and you know what you mean, and these are like brief
They're both
glances,
legit.
like
That's what I
saccades,
think.
like brief eye saccades to the same location.
I know Danya's not
in
accusing.
seemingly critical moments. I'm not suggesting, by the way, that what Kramnik did there is weird cheating. I'm saying the opposite. Even looking off to the side at a non-monitor is normal, first of all. Second of all, that is not what I was doing in 95% of the cases that I was looking that I was darting my eyes, I was actually still looking at the board. The response from Vlad might be, but I was just, see, this clarifies it. Why are you so aggressive? All I was asking is an explanation. That ain't gonna fly. It is said confidently that I'm not looking at the monitor, which is a lie. And the like audacity and mendacity, but the audacity to claim that you know what my setup looks like, to claim you know where I'm looking, it's nuts. Comparing it to Petrosian is incredibly disingenuous, because in Petrosian's case, I believe he was looking down. Okay, and there's a clear line. Like when you look down at your like hands and knees, that is not a natural motion during an online game. I have never seen someone do that. And that is not the reason that they banned him. They banned him because of his moves. He blunders his queen, this guy. There we go, there we go. Now we're here. I wish White would resign here, but I don't think he's going to. Yeah, this is interesting, actually. The engine, wow, this is really cool. So we'll have some interesting analysis to do after the game. I'm looking at the engine, and actually it's not, you know, it's not arguing, it's arguing against taking the knight on g5. It doesn't believe that it's the fastest path to victory. So, wow, the engine line is crazy. Okay, we have a lot to explore as soon as our opponent abandons this.
Like, does Kramnik want to go to Danya's place or something? I'm just wondering how you like, yeah, I mean, this is not a method to catch people that's going to be sustainable or work. And there's work to be done. There's people to be caught. But are we trying to like assemble like elite troopers and send them to different houses or something? Like what? I'm looking for solutions here. And I mean, Danya's done more than most players in defending himself for showing his setup. So I'm just wondering, like,
you're looking at
where does this end?
But you are playing, and you are saying that you never cheated. I mean, sorry, but this is exactly by all definition a cheating, and especially bad that you are doing it. I mean, against very weak players. I mean,
okay,
you don't need it at all.
We know he's
also
not.
To explain the mistakes, you don't need to explain an engine to explain that queen d7 is probably a mistake because you are losing the queen. Danya, why you are using an engine?
But see, he loses me there. We know Danya against 1100 is not using it to get an advantage. Like, it's still wrong, but it's not. Come on, like, you can't actually think that's the situation.
Of course, the Kramnik video omits the
as a
part
strong
where
GM.
A, it's a speedrun, and B, I clarify where I'm looking, but that shouldn't actually matter.
It just
now,
ruins
when
the
the video
point
came
a
out,
little
there were a
bit.
lot of comments about this in the comment section. And I decided, upon reflection, and I'll give you an insight into that reflection, to put out a comment and pin it to the top of the video.
Yeah, so this is yep. I was wrong, and I unreservedly apologize to my opponent and any viewers who felt uncomfortable during that segment. He says it was wrong. I'm sorry, and it will not happen again. He provides a bit of context. Okay.
And to keep the video up on my channel, here I'm going to read the comment to you very, very quickly. I'd like to address several comments. First and most importantly, having an engine running during a game is against the rules. End of story. However, I'd like priority every moment to maximize the instructive value. You can read it yourself.
Chess.com, another question. I mean, maybe it's a habit. I don't know, but I'm asking questions. Maybe this question you can try to answer. I mean, what made you use the engine? You cannot explain this game without an engine, yeah? It's by all definition cheating. And you say...
I mean, Danya can explain a game against 1100 or against anyone without an engine. I mean, that's just taking it too far.
You never cheated. And the questions are to Chess.com. Why? Chess.com, why are you allowing someone, especially very famous player, YouTuber, to use engine against amateurs, or maybe not only against amateurs? What is happening there? Are you promoting cheating?
Through my lens, it was so like not an issue that, unlike what Kramnik says, me saying that I'm using an engine was not a slip of the tongue. I intended to say that because I wanted to make sure people knew that it was happening.
Why am I disrespecting a world champion? I'm not. Like, people are going crazy in comments. Some would say I respond too much to some of Kramnik's videos. I've hosted him. But doesn't mean I agree with him or things like that. But I'm not just disagreeing because I'm not getting paid to disagree. I'm not an elite trooper, as I was referenced, sent in to clean things up. I'm just trying to be logical and rational here, and also not have things descend into like total anarchy. But I'm like one of the last guys for people to like criticize and say I'm on everyone, this side or that. Like I've Try to be pretty objective here.
And I never thought in my wildest dreams, to be completely honest, that anybody would conjure up the idea that this is a big deal. If I may be so arrogant, perhaps you'll call me, I think that over the course of 4 years in which I've done the speedrun series, I hope that I've gained the trust of viewers in knowing that every modicum of energy is dedicated during the speedrun episodes to making it as instructive of an experience as possible. And it never entered my mind that somebody thought that I could, you know, that this is the moment when I'm going to like reveal my moral bankruptcy in a game with an 1100 when I'm up a queen and a piece. I often have to wait for my opponent to stall out, and I was just trying to make efficient use of my time. To say that like that is cheating, yes, by definition it is. Guess what else is cheating? Playing on someone else's account, which I believe someone did. I have
I received a letter from chess.com in which they wrote that they're suspending me from playing in prize tournaments due to the use of another account, which they learned from a denunciation by a YouTuber posing as a chess player. What these? I mean, this is a YouTuber posing as a chess player. Some of these comments are so funny and so harsh. I'm not. Yeah, if I get called it, I would say that's a pretty good burn. To everyone who wanted to watch my streams from Titles, thank him. I mean, that has been done by a lot of players in Title Tuesday. It has never been done by me, but it's not okay. At the same time, the people that do it are allowed to play again after serving a bit of time, and I'm okay with that. That's not the same as cheating with the engine. It's not good. It used to happen all the time. It still happens now. Players would do it for different reasons. One of the reasons is like, oh, then your games aren't in the database. Chess.com, including Title Tuesday games into chess space, has caused some players to do that to avoid their openings and preparation being available. Again, not okay, but I'm still judging the circumstance, and suspension is fair, and I mean that's a strict one, and maybe they do it again. There's people that do it that are very hard to catch. But yeah, that's not good either. that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen again. That's a widespread one. Title players playing on other title players' accounts. That's a very widespread issue, actually. But again, while we're on this crusade against catching cheaters, a lot of people are talking about using engine assistance during chess games. And this is not in the same category, even if it's still wrong and deserves punishment. So, yeah.
I've not brought this up for the entirety of my rebuttals because I believed it to be irrelevant, as I still do. But the Kramnik and Krakozia thing, that's cheating, right? But we lose like the meaning of any word if we're just going to like apply this. It would be evil, I think, to say that this is the same thing as cheating in a Title Tuesday game. To suggest that this is evidence of like a pattern of cheating and now lends more validity to any of these other absurd claims is, it makes me, it's disgusting. I'm sorry, it's completely disgusting. Yeah, I'm sorry, but when I do the speedrun, I think that there should be certain liberties that are granted to me. And if you want to, the people who are saying that like this is not okay, and like he's, you know, he knows that chess.com is going to protect him, point me to your speedrun and to your thousands of hours making instructive content, and I will happily be the first to lobby Danny Wrench to give you the power to, you know, to do whatever it is that you want to make it more instructional. To suggest that I did this out of malice, or, and Vladimir, this is what made me angriest, to deliberately manipulate the narrative so that people think that I actually used it on the present position, that I used it, that my use of it had anything to do with like needing to use the engine to win a queen and knight up. Really? I decided to leave the video up because no, I'm not perfect. And over the course of thousands of hours, yeah, I get impatient sometimes. Sorry to be human. When Vladimir asked me for examples of manipulation, this is textbook manipulation. Now he's talking and reacting. What are you talking about, Danya? First of all, you're like 2640 right now. You have 88 games. You don't have an opportunity to play the top guys, but not just like the opportunity, the desire. You just don't come to the World Blitz Championship. But this is normal, I understand. But you have a chance to play others. I don't know what you're talking about. This is just factually not true. I don't accuse you of anything. I just add facts. Here's your rating. Here's the number of games you played. And your rating doesn't move. If you showed yourself, well, you would have been 2,700. But again, I'm not like saying anything's wrong or accusing you of anything. Probably the tournament is very weak. If you win tournaments that are strong enough, you would have been 2,700 a long time ago. So he delivers this entire spiel. And the reason, by the way, that I did not gain rating or as much rating, blitz rating, in early 2023 was because FIDE had not implemented their minimum rating gain rule. The tournaments that I played remained largely the same. And of course, another lie is that I never proved myself against serious OTB players. And he didn't say almost, he said any. Okay, that's a direct quote. Of course, skipping the tournament in St. Louis that I played. Am I suggesting that this shows that I'm top 10 in the world in Blitz? Absolutely not. I never made that claim. I will never make that claim. But please adhere to your own standards. Stop saying that you didn't say something when it's caught on tape. I beat Aronian and Robson, I beat Aronian with Black, but all of that doesn't matter because the goalposts will keep shifting. But as for the implication that this is ungentlemanly of me to play, that is beyond ridiculous. I play unrated Blitz tournaments, I play rated Blitz tournaments, and the idea that for the coaches of a chess center that produces talented kids, when we show up at these Blitz tournaments, it's big for the kids.
I played Danya Blitz in person, played him online obviously a bunch. So
bring up a civilized and sort of cultivate a crop of kids who will be the next generation of American chess. To suggest that I'm playing in this tournament for rating farming,
he's good in person
Blitz
as well.
rating does not impact anything at all for me. I didn't make a single video when I crossed 2,700. I don't brag about it. I don't talk about it. Every part of this is a lie, and I wouldn't say anything were it not so specifically directed at my morals, that our morals are corrupt. That's why we play in these tournaments. The match offer was not made in good faith. Okay, so from a lot of your guys' perspective, it's well, okay, you're better at Blitz, therefore it's free 50K. First of all, stop pretending like it's easy to beat a former world champion. Even if he says that, he doesn't mean it in a genuine way. He means it in a sarcastic way. Of course, in reality, he's not better than me, but that's only because he cheats. I might have a bad match, and then this will follow me for the rest of my life. This is crazy. If I have a bad 2 days and I lose, literally I'll have an army of troglodytes just breathing down my neck for the rest of my life. I'll have to have not 6 cameras, but 600 cameras. And then the device will move from the wall to my ass. There's no winning. And I'm not angry because I have something to hide. I'm angry because I don't, and because I don't ask anything of these people. I'm happy to join the anti-cheating campaign, but I don't cheat. In terms of who's acting like a child here, I'm doing my best to just clear my name, and all I ask is to be left the heck alone so that I can just keep playing. I'm tired of this, these videos that keep coming out, and my hope is that Vlad will adhere to his promise of a dialogue and of acting like an adult, acknowledge that he has been very, very mistaken in a lot of affirmations and things that he said, and that's not my demand, it's just the ideal, but this is not even my official answer. These are just some spontaneous thoughts that I had.
Who's left to talk about?
Oh.
I mean, who's left to talk about?
Gotta get my fantasy football out of the way. That's a reasonable video. I mean, no matter where you stand on the topic, and I know where most people stand, but what's Danya supposed to do? I mean, he makes a good point about playing the match. You can view it oh, it's a good opportunity to play Kramnik, your favorite, but he brings up a very reasonable point there. 3-1, 3-2 online, whatever. It's going to be a competitive match potentially, and you just don't want to feed a narrative if you know you're innocent. It wasn't a challenge. I would agree that it doesn't seem like a challenge in good faith. You could still play it, but there's a good point that people will use that, and yeah, I mean, there seems to be some confidence coming from Kramnik. I don't know where this all started, these videos, but I assume it really is not just him. There has to be a bit of a hive of some players that think something's up, and it's being fed. And that is kind of how chess gossip works. And even if you're right once in a while, there's many cases where the players are wrong about someone cheating. I'm saying right now it's at an all-time high, the paranoia, for sure. And I don't know what the result is in the public's eyes from the Yospim Kramnik match. They played a couple, and I guess it was 1-1. I think the interest died down a little bit. There's some chaos about the platforms and things like that. And it didn't really help the dialogue. Maybe there's no more rumors about Yospim anymore in that sense. But it's not proven as best method or something. Like, you shouldn't. You know, it's not a situation where Kramnik's like the chief prosecutor and everyone has to play him. I like watching him play. He's a really good player. I like watching one-on-one matches, but I like to watch like UFC boxing. I like to watch matches where people are playing to see who's the best or they have a rivalry, but not if it's rooted in the element of, hey, I think someone might be doing something with malice or something wrong. And this is a circumstance. I'd like to see some good old-fashioned one-on-one matches without that cloud. There can be trash talking, there can be rivalries, but yeah, the context is a little bit different, but it's just not the best method to determine that. It undermines the process a little bit. So there's definitely, yeah, I mean, that if you're on Kramnik's perspective here, think something suspicious, there needs to be more than bishop c8. Bishop c8, no, I stand by it. I truly do. I played those moves. I would have played it. Playing against an 1100 up a queen and turning on the engine to evaluate, that's totally different than comparing to these Title Tuesday or whatever blitz performances that are being looked at. There needs to be, to keep the integrity of the process or the discussion of the topic of cheating in chess, we can't go down this rabbit hole every time. I mean, you're going to have people go crazy. You have people like, I mean, it's not the healthiest discussion. I don't know what the right method of doing it, but we can't be just going off of Kramnik's method of like examining specific moves and then just adding additional ideas without conviction, or he's saying they're without conviction. He's saying he's not accusing something wrong, you know, explicitly, things like that. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, reasonable to me, but at some point, and I think at some point pretty much very soon, I would need to see or hear something different. I mean, I don't see anything to this topic that's really worth discussing or milking or things like that. I mean, obviously it'd be maybe with there could be a mediator and have Kramnik and Danya on a call with someone in between. But I don't want that to just be turning into a discussion. Why did he do this? Why did you think of that? I mean, we need some more concrete ideas and topics to bring up than Kramnik's perspective on certain moves and things like that. So, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, to me, yeah, good response by Danya. I hope this thing gets resolved soon and we can move on to more serious topics. To be honest, that's because yeah, I think Kramnik needs to maybe say what he is looking for. Some would say he doesn't deserve to like keep accusing or saying these things because it's gone too far. For sure, I get that. But like, what does Danya have to do? What does Danya have to do here? I just, yeah. I have my impression. I've always had the impression. No suspicions. And what I've seen isn't adding to that whatsoever. I've already spoke about how I view some of the moves, and I played Danya in person and online a bunch. But yeah, I think we're being a bit distracted here. Are we trying to get everyone to play with 2-3 cameras when they play casual games? Are we trying to remove speed runs? But what does this have to, yeah, like, yeah, why Danya here? But there's definitely some other, yeah, need something new here. But yeah, good response by Danya.